Well, hello there, and welcome to another exciting tutorial from Adriel Partners about how to update your WordPress website with the Divi theme and page builder. Today, we're going to be looking at this site, and we are going to take these social media icons, and we're actually going to create a new set at the very bottom of the website. For this particular site, we turned off the main footer on the home page, but we want to add it back in this case, and so we're going to show you how to do that. The first thing we're going to do at the moment is we're just going to go and click on one of these pages so we can go to the bottom of it, and we will take a look at the footer. We're not going to make it look exactly the same, but we're going to get it pretty close on the home page. So we have this up on the site so that we can use the info, and now we're going to go back to our page builder. Now I'm logged in already, and I'm back in the wireframe view, but you can also click Build on the front end, which is probably a better option at this point. Building on the front end lets you look at things visually. Most people are visual in some way or another. I know I certainly am, so we're going to do that here. Once you're logged in, you'll notice that you see the black bar at the top that lets you know you're logged in. So for now, what we're going to do is go to the bottom of the whole page here on the home page, and we are going to create a new section. Now, you may or may not remember, blue sections are the largest category of box that we put things in. Within sections, we have green rows. You can see that here. And inside the rows, we have modules. Now, it just so happens I already have a module and a row and a section down here. And I don't remember what that is, so I'm going to just check on it and see by clicking the gear icon on the gray module here. That's going to tell me, oh, this is a code module, and I need to leave that there. That's not something that the user sees, but it's something that's involved in working with the menu system on this particular theme, so we're just going to leave that there. Instead, what I'm going to do, we are going to just add a new row in this section, and then we're going to put some stuff in it. In fact, now that I think about it, we don't have to add a new row at all. We can just use what we already have. So making sure that we don't delete this code section, I'm just going to add another module into this green row that's already there. Now we're going to use a text module because we're basically pasting text. And when you create a text module, you'll notice that it creates dummy text. That's fine. Just get rid of that. I'm going to go back to my footer, which I pulled up on the front of the website on one of the different pages. I'm just going to copy this all down here, copy this text. Notice I'm not copying these icons. I'm just copying the text. So I'm going to come in here. I'm on the visual tab. And in fact, I'm going to close this off a little bit. If you make your settings window large enough, you see the content and the design and the advanced tabs all at once, but I don't want that right now. So I'm just going to bring that a little smaller, then I'm going to paste, and you'll notice that we actually have some extra stuff up here. That's from where it tried to copy those icons. We don't need that. I'm just going to hit delete, backspace. That's not working, so I'm just going to try to use my mouse. All right, now when you run into a situation like this, it sometimes gets a little tricky, so the way you do that to address it is you go to the right and you click on the text tab here in the text module. And this is where you'll notice a bunch of stuff that looks, well, it looks kind of confusing. But you'll notice at the top we have code-looking things, other things. Then we have this content that we actually put. This is what we want. McWilliams, Buckley, and Associates, primary. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this stuff above, and that should take care of things for the most part. Now, creating a footer is not something you'll normally do, but I wanted to show you so that you can get a better idea of just working with this system in general. All right, so now we have our footer info. I'm going to go back to visual so I can see. This is all we want here at the moment. I'm going to click the green checkbox to save that, and you'll notice now we have this text. But remember, we want it to look like it looks on the other sections of the site. So to do that, I'm going to do a couple of things. The first thing is I'm going to go ahead and edit my my row, and I'm going to change the size of it. I'm going to make it a full width row, make it go all the way. Actually, even as I'm talking, I'm thinking maybe we shouldn't. Let's go back and check. You'll notice that in here, these icons don't go all the way over to the side. That lets me know that this row is not actually all the way the width of the site. It's only partial, and that actually is a nice visual effect. So we're going to stick with that on the home page. That can always be changed later, but for now I'm going to click the red X to get out of row settings, and I'm going to go to the section settings here, the blue section, click on the gear icon. Most items and things in Divi have a link, have a background, have an admin label option, so this should be pretty familiar. Click background, I'm going to click black. If I remember correctly, this is not totally black. I think it's a similar color. So I'm just going to click the gear icon here, and I'm going to change this instead of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, which is the darkest, I'm going to just make it a little bit lighter, 333, 333. And no, maybe 111, 111. This can always be changed later, so don't worry too much about it. But you'll notice now I have this very nice big footer. Now, it's also really tall. It's probably more space than I need. So I can just use my mouse, and you'll notice it's highlighted this blue overlay here. This is my padding, and so I'm actually going to just bring that up, and then I'm going to bring this. I can't really bring that down too. Oh, there it is. Going to bring that. You'll notice that there's blue numbers in the middle that are showing you that your values are decreasing. But that's not really doing what I want it to do. So I'm actually going to go back to the gear icon. This is a personal preference. You may really like the dragging, but I like to go and use the design tab in the settings module here, settings box. Click the design tab. I'm going to go down to spacing. And spacing is where I can set padding, margin, and I'm just going to put 0 here and link the two. That's important, by the way. Margin is a space outside of your box. And then padding, I'm going to just link these two, and let's go ahead and make it, say, 15 pixels. You'll notice both values are adjusted. They keep time with each other when you have them linked like that. All right, I'm going to just put that at 15, click my checkbox. That's actually still taller than I want. Notice part of the reason is because the green padding of this row is extra high. So I'm going to click on the gear icon for the row settings. Again, I'll go to the design tab. Again, I'll go to the spacing section. And here, I'm going to go ahead and set a margin of 0, and I'll set a padding of 0, and we're going to see what that does. Click the green box, and oh yeah, that's much nicer. Now remember, we have that code module which is in here. So I'm gonna actually leave this alone for now, and I'm just gonna click my master menu here, the purple one, click save, and then I'm gonna go back to the home page of the site in my other browser, and I'm gonna hit refresh, and we're gonna see what it looks like. Now remember, this is actually a different page. So I'm gonna go to the home page rather. And then we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to see what that looks like. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Hey, that's not bad. Now, I'm going to go in after we're done with the video here and figure out why that's bigger, what the deal is with that, because that's just kind of bothering me. But for now, we're just going to leave it as is, and we're going to do something else. Now we're going to add another module inside of this row. One thing I am going to do also is I'm going to click this gear icon, and to make things easier to work with for now, I'm going to change my spacing again. And I'm going to actually give myself, just call it 30 pixels to work with. And I'm going to click save. That way I can kind of see in here a little better. I have my code module up here, which you can't really see very much. I have this other module. This is one reason I like the wireframe view, but there we go. All right, so we're going to click here, and you'll notice that there is, if you kind of fiddle with it, you can see, all right, apparently that's being a little more difficult. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go back to my wireframe because that's just a lot easier for me right now. This is something you can do as well when you have trouble with the desktop view or the visual builder. Sometimes you just need to go back. This is why naming things is really helpful. So here's code. I'm actually going to name this. Remember, every module has a link, a background, and an admin label. I'm going to call this menu top menu menu code don't touch. That's only for me to do as the developer. But then you can see down here, we'll call this footer text. Again, we go down to the bottom, admin label. It's going to be footer text. I'm going to save that. And now we're going to add another module. Remember, gray is for modules, green is for rows, blue is for sections, unless every now and then you have another kind of section, like this orange special section, but that's a topic for another day. I'm going to click Add a Module, and Divi includes a social follow module. We scroll through our list here. It's alphabetical, so we go down to where it says Social Media Follow. So we're going to click on that, and then we get an opportunity to add a new social network. So we can add a new social network, and we're going to add, how about Facebook? There's a lot of networks in here. Going to go down, click on Facebook. Where is it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Come on. There you are, Facebook. There you go. Add Facebook. And then we're going to notice, by the way, there is a little background thing up there. Facebook is here, and then you can click the link, and it gives you an account link URL. Okay, well, that's where you would actually type in HTTPS. The best thing to do is go to your Facebook profile and copy the URL at the top, and then paste it back. So we can do that, and then we can click the back arrow, and we can add a new social network. I'm going to say LinkedIn. Once again, it's not doing anything when I try to type. FGHIJ. There we go. There's LinkedIn, and I put my link, and I put my account. In this particular case, we already have a social media follow module up higher on the page. So I'm going to X out of here because I just wanted to show you how to build that from scratch if you need to. But in this case, I'm actually going to delete the thing I just created. I'm going to scroll to the top of the page and then scroll down until I see this one. Remember, we already created a social media follow module elsewhere, and it's up there. And it seems like we want them to be consistent. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to actually hit this button here that has the two stacked rectangles. And this is the duplicate button. Notice it created a copy. That's going to copy all the settings over. Then I use my little arrows, grab it, and I'm going to actually drag this. This is where you have to use your mouse well. I have a scroll wheel on my mouse, so I'm going to scroll down. You can also kind of just move your mouse like that to the bottom of the screen, and it should scroll like that. I just like the scroll wheel. Now I'm actually going to put the social media follow above the footer text, because that way it's a little more consistent with what we have on the other pages. So I'm going to save this, our little home page, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to reload it in my other browser. I'm going to scroll to the bottom. Notice we have what we created before. Now I'm going to hit reload, and we're going to see what we have here as well. Ta-da! Now we have our social media follow and our other stuff like that. And you can do some different things with the social media follow. What's the word? Module. Click this sprocket icon or the gear icon. You can click on on design, and you can go and pick out icons, and you can change their colors. So for instance, in this particular case, I'm going to change the icons to more of a gray so that it's a little more consistent with the other pages. We'll save that. And again, I could do this in the visual builder side. I just don't want to mess around with that spacing. Go back, we're going to refresh or reload the page. Take a look and see how that looks. And notice that all that did was it changed the actual text on there. So there's different ways you can style this, and that's kind of something you really need to look at a Divi tutorial for. But I just wanted to show you the basic idea of how you can do that. I'm going to refresh these, put them back to their default values. By the way, most things in Divi, you'll see a little, if you make changes to them, you'll see a little backwards circular arrow, and that just resets it to its default values. So there's an option there for you that you can play with. So there you go. There's the basic idea. for how you add a social media follow. Hope that was helpful. And again, there's other options. You can go check out the official Divi tutorials, but hopefully this was helpful on your journey. One last thing. I think this already has the links in there, right? Right. That's why we duplicated it instead of having to type it from scratch. All right. Have a great day. Thanks. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.